Hi everyone, today's update is about Tasmania's subclass 190 and 491 nomination criteria for year 2025-2026. In Tasmania, there are a few changes. We are going to go through them one by one. In today's video, we are only going to look at primarily the main eligibility criteria. In the next part of the video, I'm going to share a screen with you. And Tasmania has 4 nomination pathways this financial year. First of all, Tasmanian Skilled Employment Pathway. Second is Tasmanian Skilled Graduate Pathway. Third one is a Tasmanian Established Resident Pathway. And the fourth one is Tasmanian Business Operator Pathway. Now, this video is going to be a little bit longer because I have to discuss the main criteria for all these pathways. If you guys have not hit that follow, like and share button, please do it now so you don't miss any updates from us in future. Let's get started with the first one, which is a Tasmanian Skilled Graduate Pathway. We're only going to look at the minimum requirements of. The requirement is you must have worked in Tasmania in a job which is closely related to your skills assessment. That means the job that you're currently working in must have the same first 4 digits as the first 4 digits of your skills assessment occupation. As your skills assessment for at least 9 months. So you must have job for at least for 9 months. If you are going under this pathway. If your occupation is related to teaching or health or allied health occupation, then in that case you are eligible even with 6 months of employment. Your skills assessment must be listed as a TSC priority occupation, which is Tasmania's skill occupation list. There's a link here if you go to their website, and you should be able to explore the occupations here. Your occupation must be in one of those lists in Tasmania. That was for 190. Second is a 491 minimum requirements. If you are working in a role that pays at least $57,000 per year or $28.85 per hour, excluding overtime penalties, bonuses, or casual loading, then you are eligible for this. You must have been working in Tasmania for at least 9 months. So that requirement is for 9 months now. You must have worked on an average of 20 hours per week, and you must currently be living in Tasmania and intend to continue to live in Tasmania. Your dependents must not be living in another state or territory. That is very, very important. And if you're self-employed or a contract, you need a relevant skills assessment and have at least 12 months of business activity in Tasmania. That was for 491 Tasmanian Skill Employment Pathway. There are multiple other criteria as well. They mentioned if your job is not related to your skills assessment, you must have a relevant qualification or experience aligned with occupational standard classifications for that role. And your job does not need to match your skills assessment unless you are self-employed. So if you are only self-employed, only then there's a primary requirement for your skill assessment as well as your occupation to match. But if you are not self-employed, then it does not need to match your occupation. Your job does not need to be in the same field as your skills assessment. In that case, you need at least 12 months of work in Tasmania, and you must have at least again 20 hours per week. So if you're getting paid less than 57,000, you need 12 months of work experience, 20 hours per week work. And there are multiple other requirements. That was for Tasmanian skilled employment. Next pathway is Tasmanian skilled graduate. Let's look at 190 minimum requirements. They're saying you must have completed a course in Tasmanian Territory Institution. Registered on CRICOS, you must have lived in Tasmania for at least 2 calendar years from the start of your course and throughout your studies. Your course must have been listed in CRICOS minimum 92 weeks and must be at least a 𝐄𝐓 diploma or higher qualification, or at least certificate 3 related to OSCA, which is major group 3 and group 4 occupations. Study must have been full-time and on-site, and at least 70% of full-time load per semester, no online or distance learning. Very, very important for you to understand. Okay, VET courses must also include at least 15 contact hours per week. Going to ask for extensive documents to justify all those claims. Now for 491, if you look at similar requirement, there will be certain differences. You must have completed a course in Tasmanian tertiary institution here, and you must have studied full-time and on-site, and your course must have been registered for minimum of 40 weeks. That is a requirement for 491. Even if your course is registered for minimum 40 weeks as long as it is AQF level 5 diploma or higher, or even at least certificate 3, if it is a major group 3 or group 4 occupation, that is acceptable as well. And for VET courses, you must include at least 15 contact hours per week, same requirement. Next pathway is a Tasmanian established resident pathway. Let's look at minimum requirements. If you are working for a Tasmanian based employer and are paid at least $57,000 per year for at least 12 months work in the last 2 years, you need minimum 12 months of work for last 2 years, and work should be minimum 20 hours per week. And you must be working the role that paid at least national minimum wage but less than 57,000. Then work requirements are increased to 18 months. If you are a business owner, if you're operating small business, you must have done so for at least for past 2 years, generating a minimum of personal income of $76,515, with a business also achieving a net profit of at least that amount. And let's look at Tasmanian resident pathway for Tasmanian established resident pathway for 491. For that, you must be working at least at $57,000 per year with an employment of minimum 20 hours per week, and a role that pays less than minimum wage. Then you must be working for at least for 12 months. 6 months if you're paid $57,000 or higher, and 12 months if you're paid less than $57,000 per year or higher. Even though you're working for 20 hours, you're still eligible though. Next one is Tasmanian business operator pathway, of interest to many of you who are operating a small business in Tasmania. Let's look at minimum requirements. So it is only eligible for 491. There is no 190 in this stream. You can see you must have established and operated a business in Tasmania for at least 12 months. The business must be solely owned or co-owned with your spouse. Your business must still have been in profit after paying yourself a salary of at least 85% of a temporary skill income threshold, which is $65,037. This income must come from genuine business activity and not be significantly supplemented by non-business source such as personal savings, loans, or family. They are very, very strict with their criteria. They're going to look for extensive documents. My recommendation to all of you guys is, if you're going in this stream or any stream, make sure your documents are top notch. There are no shortcomings in your documents. Otherwise, they can refuse your nomination application and it can jeopardize your future in Tasmania. And subcontractors and independent contractors are not eligible under this pathway, and you can actually look at Tasmanian skilled employment or Tasmanian established resident pathways for your 491. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys are not sure whether you are eligible or not, you wanna discuss your pathways, simply give us a call on the given number. The best is to book consultation, and you can do so from our website. I hope this video was helpful. Please share with your friends, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.